This is Doc Marek, and I'm going to read poems from my chapbook titled In the Rough. This chapbook contains 15 poems. In the way that I organized it was to flow from the very first poem to the very last poem, similar to the way an album is constructed. But they're all okay to be read individually as well. You can purchase this chapbook at www.docmarek.com/merch. Follow me on Twitter at DocMarek, and like my page on Facebook at facebook.com/officialdocmarek. I'm killing myself slowly with cigarettes and liquor in a heart that's lonely. To the kids who sit in their bedrooms lip-syncing the songs written by artists who hang on the posters on their walls, dreaming of replacing those paper posters with records made of gold, willing to sell their naive souls with no idea about what art really means. To the girls who sit in their bedrooms with cuts on their wrists and cuts on their thighs because the magazines tell them anorexia is the real way to get a guy, wearing long sleeves in the summertime and fake smiles to school with no idea about what beauty really means. To the kids who sit in their bedrooms getting high on pills and paint and whatever they can find. Yeah, or that friend that broke your heart when you saw them spiraling, who did a little too much and ended up dying with no idea about what happiness really meant. And to the kids who sit in their bedrooms awake until 4 with crumbled pieces of paper carpeting their floor, their hearts pouring out of their fingertips, bleeding for everything they see with no idea about what being heard really means. To the kids who just want to be understood, to the kids who just want to love and be loved, let that light shine brighter than the sun, and don't give up till the battle's been won. Shake the dust of the earth off your weary feet, and don't ever forget to smile because you're not alone at all. We pack like anchovies into the bars and clubs, grinding the parts of our bodies that our mothers told us strangers shouldn't touch. And as long as we find some place to sleep or some place to take some strange to, everything will be okay. Yeah, we'll never die, or so we say, and so we think that everything will work itself out and we'll be okay. Yeah, we all just want to be okay, and I said enough in that first stanza to end this poem, but let me keep going. Lend me your eyes and lend me your ears. Let me tell you my hopes, dreams, loves, and fears. I write drunk and edit sober like Hemingway. Let me be naked, let me be. Let me make you remember this poem the next time you're dancing with someone you've never met before and everything feels okay. And the world feels like it could stop and you could die and it would all be oh fucking K. I'm nursing a Bloody Mary on a Sunday morn, and there's a hostess at the door, a young petite brunette who's giving me eyes that scream of her desire to run. So I give the bartender my John Hancock, nonchalantly glance her way. She knows I have her figured out. I pretend that I wasn't looking at her and avert my gaze to the television. 3-2, Giants. Try to sneak a look at her again. She's in a short dress with heels. Her eyes dart to the floor. Back to me. It's now or never. I stand up and head for the door. She's analyzing me, frozen. I open it myself, step out into the sun, try my damnedest not to turn around, but I feel her eyes through the tinted windows of the bar. And as I'm fumbling with my keys, I look over my shoulder and feel like a child who let go of a birthday balloon. Walk into the bar, dead. Order my favorite wheat ale, and suddenly Legs for Days comes in, sits her ass down right next to this fella in a collared shirt, crosses those puppies and kisses him right on the fucking lips. And I realize that maybe there's life in the dead of night. And there's a sky full of stars and I have nobody to say goodnight to. And this poem's called Isn't This? This is what dreams are made of. Fresh squeezed lemonade stands where messy-haired children grow up to replace sugar with dead presidents and lemons with profit margins. Yes, God gave me tomatoes and I made lemonade. And we're waiting to die in a country where war is a pastime, kindness is taboo, and Little League Louisville sluggers soon become semi-automatic machine guns and fragmentation grenades. Oh yes, loved ones, I've written my will and stashed cash for you to buy an exquisite box for me to rot in, to become fly food in, to be forgotten in. Closer to the dust I was made from, and further from those invisible hands on my shoulders, pushing me under the water. No, not of the womb, which is thinner than the blood of the covenant, and sadly not the other way around. I'm speaking of something in which nothing is more easy, lucky, or free. Did you catch that reference? And I want to thank Mr. Oberst for saying it better than I ever could. And so I put it on my skin as permanent as the subject it dealt with, and no, I don't regret it at all. Most days I feel like a flower in the cracks of an autumn sidewalk with barely enough time to enjoy living. And if I measured my success by paychecks, then I'd be certain that I wasn't following my heart anymore. So try that, because your head can always make it work, and you can watch your life change direction. And no, it isn't for 3 easy payments of $19.95. Stop living for money and start living to live life. At least that's what I do, or try to do anyway. Because God forbid my family fight over money or material possessions which I may have left behind, instead of the fact that I'm not alive to love them anymore. Yes, this is what dreams are made of. This is the foundation skyscrapers are built on. The hand-tied ribbon bow on top of a gift you didn't expect to receive. And so you smile nice and big like you're 8 years old and still oblivious to how fleeting things in life really are. Yes, a time when life itself makes you happy and you're dying to live rather than living to die. This is what dreams are made of. Still finding inspiration as I dozed off homeless in the back seat of a car I could never afford, robbing Peter to pay myself and forgetting about Paul because I spent all the money I had on liquor and drugs to try to drown out a reality I was too scared to face to face, man to man. I could have paid my bills if I hadn't drank myself nearly to death, waking up in the morning and I couldn't get drunk again fast enough. I grew up in an instantaneous generation that doesn't want to feel pain, but must bleed to know it's alive. Paycheck to paycheck, smoke rent from a bowl, and they tell you in the next breath that you only live once, while I was barely living at all. Only one time, one go, and I chuckle at these cats with their chests puffed up like this isn't their first time living. And they spew their advice so freely, and if I took it all, then I'd probably be dead. Isn't this what it's all about? Isn't this what we all strive for? Isn't this what dreams are made of? Flesh and blood and money and good sex that makes your balls tingle for the rest of the day. Isn't this? Someone scream to me at the top of their lungs, flip the lights on, wake my ass up, tell me why I should keep dreaming. Tell me what lies just out of reach. I found God in a plastic cup filled with ice and lemonade that tasted as sweet as honey on my tongue. And yes, honey, I tipped those messy-haired kids enough to pay their college tuition so they can grow up and tell me how the fuck to live. There were times I had no money and nothing to eat. Nothing to drink, no clean clothes to wear, no gas in my car, no lover in my bed, only memories of what once was to keep me warm. The saddest part of living is not that someday you're going to die, but rather that someday all the memories of you will die too. This poem's called People Watching from a Third-Story Window on a College Campus. It's 3 a.m. and she catches my eye, walking in white socks but holding high heels, and I thought that the socks with sandals thing was over. But she's got on jeans and a sweater, American burqa, on a promiscuous night such as this, and you can tell that she's a supermodel in her own mind, maybe even her trailer park, and she stops walking and my eyes dart to see what she stopped for. And it's a girl with her back to a tree talking to a guy when suddenly they start waving their arms and their words are drowned out by the air conditioner, but Burqa Girl hears them, takes a few steps and stops again staring. 2 cops drive by and she changes hands with the heels, starts off again, disappears around the corner, the couple moves on, and there's a slew of people moving like ants, lost in their drunken shenanigans. And here's Burqa again, face looking like she just saw a fucking murder, walking past my building, looking up in the windows, maybe being yelled at, cooed at, whistled at, whatever. But she doesn't know what the fuck is going on, so I duck, hoping my cover isn't blown. And she's sticking out like that cliche about a thumb, and I laugh to myself as she walks back toward the way she came, because I can tell that she's never partied here before. She says that I write my best poetry sitting on a bar stool where old men confess their sins to women who they won't be following home. And I can't tell you why I'm here, hell, nobody really can. But I guess it's loneliness that makes us stoop so low, altering our consciousness to forget about what's real. Yeah, where are all the women at? He asks me as if I'm the shaman of sex. But no, I don't do that too often, honestly. Over here, over there, somewhere they're surely dancing, I say, as I flick the ash off of something I haven't quite figured out how to quit yet. But maybe it'll come to me one of these days, the secret to life, to happiness, to the universe. And it's hard to form your own opinions when you've been raised by televisions. Where is life at, I ask? Over here or over there, somewhere they're surely living, I think to myself, and surely they are. I fall in love with all of the things that die too soon. This poem's called Meditations from the Inbound 6. There's a woman who drives the bus, and we see each other every day, but we don't know each other's names. Just a good morning or good afternoon, depending on the time of day, but it's a good relationship, I'd say. She even said, I should know you by now this morning. And there's a guy waving his arms for her to stop, so she stops and picks him up out of pity or necessity, whatever. And now he's staring at this hot blonde pumping gas in a mini skirt with a cotton polyester mix climbing up well into her danger zone. And this bus driver says, no bike today, and he says, nah, just walking. And she says, oh, I see. And she shuts the doors and keeps going on. But in that split second, his mouth is watering to run his tongue up this woman's legs. And no, she has no idea that I'm writing a poem about him and her. But you can tell that she wants the compliments, but doesn't realize that this son of a bitch is going to stain his sheets because of her attire. And I wish I could slip him a few bucks because I smell the liquor on his breath, and I've been there, I am there, and I know he's really just misunderstood. This poem's called Anyway. Today is crawling, and you're out there doing whatever it is that you do. And it makes me wonder if the earth is spinning just a little slower for you too. Most likely, if you're like me, you won't go searching for something that's been gone long enough to get used to. Yeah, we used to say we couldn't go a day, but we have, and you'll never read this anyway. But we've gone many days, and our love could have adapted and changed through the oncoming waves, but some say a saying something like 7 ways from Sunday. But maybe one day I'll see you, and I'll smile, and I'll go on my merry way, far from where you are, and the blankets we'd lie on to look at dead stars that you probably still have balled up in the back seat of your car. I mean the blankets, of course, and not the stars or the dreams we dreamt together, saying forever, but meaning just a little while. It's okay if we're strangers again, because I don't even know myself anymore. Thank you. That's In the Rough. You can go to www.tumblr.com officialdocmarek.com to read more. Thank you.